This is an SM Media production. Hi everyone and welcome to the latest episode of All Time 11 right here on SM Media. I'm Scott McPike, delighted to be here again. This week I'm joined by the Kilmarnock Cup final winning hero, David Bagan. Mark Wilson's all-time favourite Kilmarnock player, he tells me. Pleasure to have you on, David. Thanks very much for coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
How are you, all right?
All good. Yeah, all good. Just get a little bit of spare time here, so before I go coaching later in a few hours. So, aye.
Brilliant. How's US?
Great, love it. Bit crazy now with the election and all that stuff, but coronavirus, so it's all happening. But hopefully, after the new year, things will settle down a wee bit. But to be honest, I don't see any of that. That's all just on the news. It's where I am. Everything's just normal day-to-day life. So it's been good. Enjoying it.
So what are you kind of doing over there? What kind of teams are you coaching and how's it going?
So I moved to Kansas and I didn't have any real job. We just moved because my wife's family were here, and I get put in touch with a Scottish guy from Brecon, Chris Dean, who that's Chris Dean, not just Christine. And he's a director of coaching over here we're actually an affiliate club of Sporting KC. So the director is the assistant manager at Sporting KC, Zoran. So we're kind of affiliated with him. It'd be like, I don't know, a youth, like an academy team at Kilmarnock or Rangers or Celtic or whatever. Mm. So I coach a U13, U14 boys team there. And then I started my own little coaching business, going into schools and taking young kids out. Doing that. So that's kind of took a wee bit of a hit with the coronavirus, all the schools closed and that. But hopefully again soon, over the new year, things will open up again and we'll get back to normal. But I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Here's hoping it picks up. Just a couple of things before we get into your team. I just want to ask you, obviously you'll have heard Wilson in the football show. Mm-hmm. What did you make him?
I think he's been good, the very first one I listened to, I was like, what's this? I put it on. I actually thought it was a wind-up. I thought it was a different Mark Wilson. I'm like, who? That can't be there. Because he commented on Twitter, I mean, he's again just winding somebody up. Oh, thanks for having me on. And then so I clicked the link and sure enough, he was on it. I'm like, what's going on here? So I lasted about 5-10 minutes and I had to phone him. I phoned him straight away. I went, why are you're talking over everybody else? See, it's not even your show, and he's talking over everybody. He's let people speak, and he's like, well, that's what I'm like, and all that, blah 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 blah. So, no, but he's been good. I think it'll be good for the show. He's controversial. Just says things to bring folk up.
Mm-hmm. Just bans folk up. Right? Brilliant. You've said to me beforehand you've got a story about him. I'm desperate to hear that.
You want the story now?
Aye.
So we went to St Joseph's. I met Mark at school. First day, I think they just walked right up and stood in front of my face. I'm like, who is this guy? Anyway, we became mates, and I can't remember. We were playing the school team, and it was the final. I think it was like the Ayrshire Cup final or something. It was at the Glenfield, like up Queen's Drive behind where the car garages are.
Yeah.
That used to be. Do you remember those pitches?
No, I remember my dad saying that's where it was.
Two or three really good pitches, so we were playing there and everything. It was cup final, and we only had 11 players. Me and Wilson were up front. I was running. I had to do his running the channels, and that he just stood in the middle. But as far as I remember, his mum and dad were doing that with the dog. Like, cup final, kind of big day, and some of the pupils were there and all that. So it was good. Only had 11 players, and then sure enough, about 15 minutes in, we were waiting and people getting there, but 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, ref sub. So we looked over and we're like, it's can't be our team, we've not got any subs. Sure enough, Mark, off you come on off. And he's like, what do you mean, we've no subs? He's like, come on, off you come. And he's walking off, he's like, what do you take me off for, sir? We've no subs, and he's going, just come off for a wee rest, 5 minutes, get a drink. So we played with 10 men for 15 minutes till we get another sub. till one of the other boys arrived. They took him off when we didn't have anybody to put on. I was up front myself. His mum and dad were there watching. He's raging.
Brilliant. We'll start on your team. I'll just ask beforehand, what's the formation you're going to go with?
So it's a 4-3-3, but it's kind of. I've got two strikers in there and a left winger, so I've nobody really on the right, but right back can provide the width on that side. He needs to get up and down.
Brilliant. And just as well as that, is it players you played with or played against?
Played with, aye.
Brilliant.
But if I went doing a team I played against, that would be a decent team, to be fair. I was never on their team, but always against them.
As well as that, like obviously the main claim to fame you have is the starting in the cup final win against Falkirk in 1997. Just what's the memories of that day, and where does it rank in days for you?
I mean, I think probably like most of the team, probably everybody, that was their highlight of their career, to be honest. I was just a young boy at the time and come in, started. I think I got my debut 6 months before, and I was just enjoying it. It wasn't. Thinking back now, I think I'd be nervous now. Like if I was a little bit older at that point in time, we were just going out and playing and enjoying it. That's all really our instructions. They never complicated it for us. It was just go out and play, go and enjoy yourself. You had a responsibility when you never hit the ball. Like you had to get back into your shape and all that, and be kind of defensive minded that way. But once we hit the ball, it was like, go do what you want, and there was a freedom there to go and play, which I think nowadays might not be there. Like, I'm not really sure, but I think they maybe get too much information on the opposition team. I think half the time players are worried about the opposition rather than just going and expressing themselves a little bit. So I mean, the cup final day itself, like the whole build up to it and everything, it was brilliant, and it was good to like make everybody so happy at the end of the day. I think that there was thousands, obviously John Finney Street, everybody knows about John Finney Street and that, but just got loads of stories even leading up to it, a few days after it, and a day that I'll never forget, to be honest. And I think my dad's got my medal and my son Max has got my strip, so I don't even have that. So hopefully when I get home next, I'll probably try and put them back in my suitcase and bring them home with me.
Brilliant. But we'll make a wee start. Obviously you're going to go 4-3-3. We'll start off. Who's the goalkeeper in the team?
So, the goalie, again, like every position is a kind of tough one, but I'm going to go with Lekovic, Big Drago.
Yep.
Just, again, grew up playing. One of the best goalies I played with initially was Colin Meldrum through the youth teams and all that, played in Kelly first team. And Melly was a great goalkeeper. I think he's at Celtic now doing the U18s or something.
Yeah.
You had Mark Brown that I played with at Inverness, who played at Celtic, and I think he was a young boy at Rangers, played for Motherwell. He was a good goalie. Big Gordon Marshall, probably, again, could say he could step in and be the goalkeeper. Bobby Geddes was a young boy at Kilmarnock. He was a great guy. But I think Drago, just for being in the cup final team, and he was the first like European type goalkeeper that I'd been involved, like seen, to be honest. They're all over the place now. The ball was good with the ball at his feet. He could save it. He could kind of do anything. So I think it was Alex Totten that signed him. And he was a good guy and all, Drago. I never had much interaction with him because I couldn't speak to him, but he was good. He tried and he learned English as best he could and that. So Drago was a top guy, and I think he's with the national team now. I think he's assistant manager or something at the national team. So I think he's doing well as well, which is good to see.
Brilliant. Aye, I would quite like to have seen him. Right back, who's in there? Again,
another Kelly Cup final team. I'm going to go with Gus.
Right.
Person. And again, there's other right backs that I could have picked. Big Ross totally at Inverness gets a lot of stick sometimes, but he was a good player as well. But I'm just going to go with Gus just purely because he was the right back when I get in the team, and he helped me a lot. Like just talking me through the game, like. And I suppose it would have been like that with anybody, but it did make a big difference, especially because you're going in as a young boy. I think I made my debut against Dundee United, and he never shut his mouth. He was always, no on my case, but talking to me constantly, just so that I never kind of, you could find yourself just like just like, where am I here kind of thing. So he just made sure I was concentrated in the game, and I was in the right position all the time, and gave me confidence to go and play, and always knew that if I did mess up, he was kind of there to help me get out of it. So I'll go with Gus, and nice guy, and again, done well in the game and had a good managerial career. And I think, is he still at, I think he's still at St Mirren.
I think he's the director of football at St Mirren, I think, something like that.
I know I think Gus deserves to be in it, to be fair, because he was a good servant to Kilmarnock as well for ages. So
definitely. We'll move on to left back. Who's in there?
Again, a hard one. I was going to go for Dylan Kerr, but I'm going to go with Hookie, Gary Hay.
Okay.
Still in touch with Dylan quite a lot as well, so he'll probably not be happy with that one. He'll be getting messages and, oh, you look ginger, you ginger this, ginger that. He's got ginger hair anyway. He's got ginger hair and all. Calls me ginger. Anyway, so going to go with Hookie just because I played with Hookie growing up, like New Farm local boys and youth teams together and all the way, and you talk about one club, although I think he went to Airdrie right at the very end, but 99% of his career he was at Kilmarnock, and a great servant, always very steady, like 7, 8 out of 10 every game. Play left back, play left mid. I know he played a few games centre mid. Just a really steady, all round decent player, and a great servant for the club again. And I just grown up with Hookie. I've known him for, I don't know, years, for 30 years I've known Hookie, so it's hard to leave him out, I suppose. And he was in the reserves, and then I think Martin Baker got injured. Hookie stepped in.
That's right. Aye.
Hookie made his debut at Ibrox and all.
Yeah.
The team, I think, he just kept his place, and that was him. So, which was no testament to him. He done really well. So I have Hookie in at left back.
Brilliant guy, and he deserves all the credit he gets. Great guy. We'll move on to left centre back.
Left centre back, a guy I played with at Inverness, Bobby Mann.
Okay.
Bobby was technically, I would say, the best centre back I've played with. Like, phenomenal football player. Technically, with both feet, he could pass it short, he could pass it long, he could hit volleys. He was hitting things with the outside of his right foot. It was almost like a centre midfielder, like just stood in the middle and just passed the ball left and right. He could defend, he could head it, he read the game well. He very rarely like the one thing you would say probably with Bobby is he wasn't very fast, he didn't have much pace, but he never very rarely get caught out just because he read the game so well. And he played in a lot of big games as well. He scored when at Celtic Park when they beat Celtic in the cup that day, and just a really, really good player. And I think he again doesn't maybe get the credit he deserves. I think he got a move to Dundee later on in his career, but I know that Ian McCall wanted to take him to Dundee United and different things like that. It never happened, and it's a shame for him because for the most part he played probably in, I think, the Championship, but he could have easily stepped up and played for teams in the Premier League. No bother. Really good player, technically good, and like a few times strikers would maybe be trying to play a pass in behind the right back or something, and because he read the game so well, he'd just step across and he's saying, "Oh, thanks mate, thanks for that pass," as he's taking it. He cuts it out and then he's running by the guy and he's going, "Cheers mate," and he's running talking to the guy that's just lost the ball, and I'm like laughing during the game, and he's kind of winking at the guy and patting him in the head, all that kind of stuff. He was good parter. So I'd put him in as my left centre back. Aye.
Brilliant. Closing out the defence, who's the right centre back?
Again, that was a tough one. I had my other centre back at Inverness, Stuart McCaffrey. He was a good player. I thought about him. He could have easily went in. Raymond Montgomery, Ditcher. He could have went in, but I'm going to go with Big Kevin McGowan, the cup final team as well. Just again, local lad. Not that really matters, but known Kevin a long while as well, and just thought he was a good football player. I remember the first time I met him. I don't actually remember, but I knew when I met him. I think he was at St Johnstone at the time,
right?
And great, decent guy, and really down to earth and that. And then when he came to Kilmarnock and you see him playing and you see the way he is as a defender and a leader and all that stuff, a lot of folk don't see that side of the game when you're just a fan. Like people's got an opinion of players, good or bad, just from playing the game. Whereas when you see them day in, day out, how they are in the dressing room and everything, that's got a big part to play in it as well. So I'll go Kevin at right centre back. He scored a good goal as well. He took a few free kicks in that and scored some goals. So take him.
Brilliant. We'll move into midfield now. It's a 3-person midfield. So how are you doing it? Are you doing a holder and two?
Nah, not really. I'm going to just go 3 top football players, to be fair.
Okay.
I'll go. My first one would be. All right, I'll do a right and a left, and I'll do a kind of holding one.
Right,
so I'll give him a holding midfielder first. Barry Ferguson.
Right, okay.
In the under-21s.
Yep.
What a phenomenal player he was. He was just miles ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
And again, you probably don't know until you against these guys or with them. And I played with him in the under-21s and at training and that, it was just like you couldn't get near him. And I've always wondered why you can't get near players. Like people talk about Paul Scholes, how they couldn't get. He's always in space. They're just too clever up here. And again, Barry was brilliant, very demanding. Like,
was he like that even then? Like,
I was just like that. That's just the way he was. He was just like that. It didn't matter who you were, whether you were younger, older, experienced. Like, you can give the ball away. Obviously, everybody gives it away, but it's your reaction as well. How when you do get away, do you need to go and get it back, kind of thing. But I've seen some players, shit themselves really. When, I'll just get the ball and get to Barry, because it didn't matter where he was. Like, he could be behind you, right? You're running to go, and he's behind you, and he's shouting for the ball. You're like, oh, I can't get to you here. But he just wanted the ball all the time. And left and right foot, didn't matter. He could tackle, passed it forward, score a goal, free kicks, penalties. And he was a good guy too. He was brand new, just normal guy.
Yeah.
So, and what a career he had. I feel like I wanted him to do a wee bit, not do better doing in England, but play for a bigger club. I think if he played for, I don't know, maybe Arsenal, or I think he could have went and played for Man United. I think he was that good, to be honest. And people say Barry Ferguson. I mean, what a top player! Honestly, he was brilliant. I don't think he gets again the recognition that he probably deserves. He was brilliant.
Definitely. We'll move on to left-sided centre midfielder. Who's in there?
Tommy Burns, my old manager.
Right. Okay.
Again, what a brilliant guy! Like, apart from my family, like my own dad, he's probably the guy that's had the most influence on me in my career. And I was only with him for 1 full year, like full time. It was my first year full time, and he was Kilmarnock manager. So I just left school, went in full time, like YTS, and he was the manager. And oh my God, what a learning curve that was. The guy was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Everybody loved him. Totally infectious personality, and you were But even now, you see stuff on Twitter and different things, and you're like, oh my God, what a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just wanted to be as good as Tommy Burns. Like, he was just such a good guy and genuine guy, and obviously a fantastic football player. The way he spoke about the game and the way he showed you things that happened in games. And I was just a young guy. I was only 16. For the first team players, it must have been 10 times better because he was working with them every day for the most part. I was in the reserve, like if we were playing first team versus reserves, I was in the reserve team, but he was dealing with the first team players. So I got to see it up close, but he wasn't so much working with me at that particular time because I wasn't in the first team. And just the demands he put on people.
Yeah.
Like we just get promoted, and it wasn't a matter of just let's stay up. It was like stay up and do it with a bit of style. We want to play decent football, and obviously you can't just do that every single game. But I think he just had everybody believing that you were the best player. I think that's what he had everybody thinking that you were the best player in the world. Nobody was better than you, but he had everybody thinking like that. And I remember a few times where we kind of never reached the heights that he wanted, and he would absolutely go through you. And it wasn't as though you were scared. You were just like, it was as if it was your dad and you were letting him down. You felt terrible because you'd let him down, and you didn't want to let the manager down like that. And whether it was reserve games or, games at training, you just didn't want to let him down. And him and Billy Stark played reserve games with him, they two, and that was just a phenomenal experience. Like, it was brilliant. Sadly missed, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. Brilliant. We'll move on to right centre midfield. Who closes out the midfield?
This was an easy one, to be fair. Ian Durrant.
Right.
He came to Kilmarnock, obviously, after Rangers at probably the twilight of his career. And I mean, I would have loved to have seen him when he was a young boy, 21, in that Rangers team before his injury. Yeah. Because he was, again, brilliant for us. Like, Ranger passing, short, long, just knew the game inside out. He didn't run about as much as he did when he was a young boy, but to have seen him with that energy where he would go box to box would have been phenomenal. Again, some laugh. What a laugh he was. Just cut you in half in the dressing room. Like, sometimes you just, oh no, put your head down. You don't want to make eye contact with, because you might not even be doing anything, and he'd just see you and he'd be like on you, and he'd give you it for 5 minutes, and you're like, just don't. Or if he was giving it to you, you would try and deflect and say, but what about him? He done that, and then he would turn go on the other guy, because it was brilliant. It was a great couple of years with Durrant. And then, again, couldn't do enough for you. Couldn't be like so helpful. Ask him anything, he would take you out for lunch and talk to you about the game, or just in general, go for a night out with him. He was brand new. He was no airs or graces. Like, played for Rangers first. Totally focused on helping Kilmarnock while he was there, and I think he done a great job. To be fair, he was great for Kilmarnock.
Yeah, he did that. Brilliant. Very good midfield. But we'll move on to up front now. You said to me beforehand you've got two strikers. So how are you going to do it? You got a left winger, did you say, as well?
I thumbed and hawed with this one. Like, again, Paul Wright, a great striker. Dennis Winus up at Inverness, who was
he was good
striker. Played at Hearts and St Mirren and all these places. But I'm going to go on the left. I'm going to go with Burkie, Alex Burke.
Yeah.
Again, my mate. It's not a team full of my mates, but I remember the first time I saw Burkie. We were playing at a youth team game down at the Dam Park, and I walked in, and it was all the boys, and I'd been there I'd been there since I was 13, so I knew the boys, and obviously Burkie was sitting in the dressing room like that, himself, nobody talking to him, and who's the new boy? Who's that new boy? And nobody knew. And she's all right now. What's your name? Totally blank to me. I'm like, I says, he's a weirdo. He doesn't even speak. And sure enough, like skinny. I mean, I suppose we were all skinny at that point, but went out and played the game, and he was just like all over the place. Oh my God, who's this? And I turned out, he signed the whatever form, and he came in full time a year after me. I went in when he's 6 months younger than me, so he came in the year later. And when I went in, I was normally they bring in a few like YTS boys every year. But I was the only one went in that year, so you had Marco and Kerr and Jim Laughlin, all these guys that were all in a year older than me. And so for a full year, I was new boy. Anything that needed done, get the new boy to do it. Oh, new boy. So when Borky came in, I was like, yes, I'm not the new boy anymore. So he was new boy for a while. And what a phenomenal ability. Like, he was so fast, right? So fast and direct. But ability-wise, right, left foot, and could get out of tight situations, and good quality on the ball, could score a goal. And him and Dylan, when they played together on the left, were really quite formidable. They struck up a good partnership, and he was a great player.
Brilliant. We'll move on to the two strikers now. Obviously, who's the first one? Who's the one that leads the line?
I'm going to go number 9. I would say Ali Mccoyst. Again, came to Kelly, twilight his career, and maybe a lot of folk just thought he came to see out the last few years of his career, but he came in and just started scoring goals. I remember it was 1998. The World Cup had just finished. He was doing all the TV stuff on the World Cup.
That's right,
and Irish Blonde and all that, and he was out with Stan Cormor and Ulrika Johnson, all that kind of stuff, and like doing really well on the TV, the punditry, and funny and engaging and all that stuff. And then Durante was like that during pre-season. Oh, wait till Coisty comes. He'll show you how to score goals and all that. And everybody's like, wait, whatever. No thinking in it, know it. And then sure enough, we were playing a full-size game. This was before the hotel was there, so it was out the back of Rugby Park. And 11v11, obviously late. We were all out doing a warm-up. Who comes out, put his jumper on, that blonde hair, Coisty. And brilliant, man. So the game finished 2-1. Right, bearing in mind, he's had a month at the World Cup, doing whatever he was doing, every night. The game finished 2-1, and he scored all the goals, right? He scored 2 in the first half, then we switched teams about, and then he scored the one in the second half and all. And it's like, he just in the right place at the right time, and knew where to run, attack the space, timing, big part of it. I just thought, this guy, like shooting drills, left or right, boom, hits. Disney blast it all the time, but hits the corners, always hitting the corners. I remember one time, I says to him, I was like, what? How come you're always hitting the side net? And he says, see where it is, Beggy, wee man. I'm no good enough. I try and hit the goalkeeper. I hit as hard as I can at the goalkeeper, and I'm no good enough to hit him with it, and it just flies in out of the corner. That's what he said.
Oh, brilliant.
So I would put him in, and again, great in the dressing room.
Yeah, that dressing room. We've spoken to a few folk for that Kilmarnock team, and the dressing room just seems brilliant. The stories.
It was brilliant. It was. She'd be between like Marco, Coisty, Durante. You had Bunyan, and everybody played their part, but you had to be on your toes, and Coisty was the first one that I still use it these days when you're late and you're getting fined and all that. So I think KB was the fine guy. So he's like, Coisty, you're late, you're late. And the first time I'd heard it, he went, "Aye, but this is the earliest I've been late." And I couldn't quite work that out. I'm like, the earliest you've been late? And I use it now sometimes, and I see people think, and one time he was late. Give me a £5. My gosh, give me a £5, and he says, "There's a £10. I'll take the morals and all that kind of stuff." So it was a good laugh, and I think you need that, because if you're going to you're going to be successful in the park, you need to have a good dressing room. Else
definitely, yeah.
It's going to be difficult.
Definitely. And we'll close up with the final position.
Again,
we'll say right wing, but he's not really a right winger, is he?
I'll say like a right wing / coming in playing as a number 10, as they call it now. But I'm going to put Marco in.
Right, okay. He'll love that.
I mean, I did think about it, and I'm like, I'm not putting him in just to annoy him. But, like, apart from all the daft stuff, what a brilliant football player.
Yeah.
Like, see, when I was Marco's like, again, he's like 18 months older than me, so I think maybe I must have been 14 at the time playing a game, and Marco came in. It was like a BP Youth Cup game or something, and Jimmy Clark, the coach, and I always remember it, pulled me at the side. He went, watch Marco, watch what he does in the game, watch what he does leading up to the game, watch what he does preparation, blah 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 blah. He says, watch him this season, take wee things for him and copy. I don't think I've ever told Marco that, to be fair, but he was like, at that age, 15, 16, he was so far ahead of his game, so far ahead of everybody else. Like, to score at Ibrox, first of all, he's playing centre midfield with Mark Skillen, who Skillen must have been young enough when I think about it, because Marco was 16, Skillen maybe been 19.
Mm-hmm.
Away to Ibrox to go score a goal and win 2-1, like, and that was Tommy Burns throwing these guys in.
Yeah.
It was, they believed in you. If you were doing well, he's like, in you go. Age wasn't a barrier, and that must, to be playing at that level so young was, it was amazing for him. But again, left foot, right foot, probably between him and Mccoyst, the two best finishers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But Marco never had it hard either, but he was always side foot, boom, so accurate. And he always used to chip Melly, and that Melly couldn't handle it. Melly used to try and kick the boys away and all that. And all right, Melly, I'll no chip you again. The next time he just goes, boom, dinked him, falling back into the net and everything. So he was really good, and probably should have done better. But I think if Marco had managed to get a move, like say to a Celtic or a Rangers, he'd have scored a barrel load.
Yeah.
Like the amount of chances that the strikers get playing for Celtic and Rangers, it's 10 times what you get for any other team. And he could score goals for anywhere. Like, he could score headers, he could score volleys. Seen him score an unbelievable scissor kick thing, overhead kick. I was like, I had no idea how he done it. Like, it was a wee bit like the Ronaldo one last year for Real Madrid against Juventus a couple of years ago. It was just like the timing and the technique. And so I would put Marco in, and there was a couple of, like, all right, and that he could have easily went in the team, but I think Marco was just, for those few years as a young boy, and everybody was looking up to him as if, and then all of a sudden you get to know him and you realise he's an absolute nutcase, which was good enough. I mean, we had some laugh. I was on the phone to him the other day, and just talking a lot of rubbish, to be fair, but it was funny, good stuff.
Brilliant. That team's very good. That's excellent.
You think so?
I think it's a good team.
Not bad for midfield going forward. I don't know about back. Might concede a few.
Brilliant. Just a wee quick thing as well, just before we kind of close up. Obviously, you've spoke about a few players that missed out. Is there anybody that you didn't really mention that was considered for the team?
I would say Paul Wright definitely as a striker. Boydie.
No.
Chris Boyd. Although I never really played much with Boydie, maybe just a couple of bit. I was kind of leaving as he was coming in. But again, how can you argue with Boydie's record? I think is he still the record goal scorer in the SPL?
Yeah, I think
talk about just like just a proper number 9, a goal scorer, then he would be in it as well. But then you put him up against Coisty, and then Marco's a different player again. Marco can link the play and all that. Dylan at left back was a close one. And to be honest, I've had a few midfielders at Inverness. When I played at Inverness, our midfield was Barry Robson, played at Celtic. Dundee United and that. You had Paul Sheeran, who was a brilliant football player. He's Aberdeen first team coach now.
Yeah.
You had Charlie Christie, who is Ryan Christie's dad. Makes
Yeah.
me feel. So we had a good player. I like when playing. Ryan was just used to be on the field after games and that, just shooting the ball into the goal, and just a young kid. But like that Inverness team, I don't think gets the credit it deserved. We were mid-table. We were just all-out attack. We'd win games like 7-5 and all that. It was difficult. We went to Tynecastle, put them at the cup. We won 3-1. But we could, but we sometimes left ourselves open at the back. So a lot of good players, a lot of good professionals that I did play with. That maybe we'll put all the ones on the bench.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. David, it's been an absolute pleasure to be on the show, mate. I can't thank you enough for taking part. I really enjoyed it. Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate. All right, bye.
Cheers.